Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back your lovely faces to a brand new video here on the channel. So, we got more Johnny Depp news here, and to be honest with you, this is kinda sad to see. Not from Johnny Depp or his team or anything, but it's from the San Sebastian Film Festival. People will see this and they will try and be like, see what he's doing? He doesn't want to speak to the press. That is how this is going to look to a few people. And they will probably try and do all that stupid stuff as well on X, Twitter, and everything else. And they'll be like, he's just not speaking to the journalists. He's not doing this. Sadly, it's this PR firm that all of a sudden, they seem to just be making the jobs of the journalists harder. So, goes on to hear that a dozen journalists who were due to interview Johnny Depp on new film Modi at the San Sebastian Film Festival Tuesday walked out of the junket in protest after the publicists running the event tried to shoehorn them all into a single, shortened roundtable session, saying that such a format is unworkable, which to be honest with you, it is, especially if you've had the questions out and you're like, right, I got 10 minutes or whatever with Johnny Depp, 6 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever, I want to ask some questions. But with this one, they've just seen, oh no, we're going to put you all together and it's just going to be like a mini press conference. That's all it is. That the journalists said they would be boycotting coverage of the film. The action marks a further escalation of growing discontent among the International Film Press Corporation over lack of access to talent launching their films at festivals, which was first signalled at Venice. Yeah, you had journalists trying to interview Brad Pitt, George Clooney, and all these people, and for some unknown reason, there's DDA. They're just like, no, we're not doing it. The journalists had originally been expecting to interview Depp alongside two members of the cast for 15 minutes in groups of 6 at the junket run by DDA. Italian freelance journalist Marco Consoli, who was leading the protest, said they agreed to the format even if it were not their preferred option. We all wanted Johnny Depp, but as happens more frequently, we were offered a round table with Johnny, Ricardo, and Antonia, he explains. We all think this is not the right way to discuss a film with a talent, especially when the talent we are interested in, Johnny Depp, is also the director and producer of the film. Things went from bad to worse for the journalists when the film team failed to arrive on time and DDA informed the journalists that all of them would be squeezed into a shortened roundtable session with Depp, Ricardo, and Antonia, which is like, come on, that's just... The publicists were forced down his route due to the fact that Johnny Depp was due to participate in the main press conference immediately after the junket and had a hard out at 3:30 under the festival's planning. Consoli says that such a format makes no sense for journalists trying to conduct interviews for publications. Most of the times when you ask a question, they start to talk to each other and it's very hard to get a proper interview with any of them. You get a pair of quotes, which is maybe less than you get in a press conference. It is. The journalist attempted to negotiate, asking if it would be possible to interview Depp on his own for 20 minutes, but this suggestion was turned down. When we were told that the only option was less time with the three of them all together, we all decided to abandon the junket and not talk to Johnny and not report about the film. He is joined in the protest by these other film journalists. They're all regulars on the festival and junket circuit. The decision to walk out on the junket comes hot on the heels of an open letter published during Venice, in which close to 100 journalists expressed their discontent at the lack of press access to stars in attendance, such as Angelina Jolie, Brad Pitt, and George Clooney, to name but a few. The letter said the movie to restrict the press access to talent at the Venice Film Festival came at a time when film journalism was already at risk of extinction, and suggested the policy be put in jeopardy the livelihood of journalists, whose coverage contributes to the success of films and the renown of directors and actors. Deadline has contacted DDA for comment on the junket. Yeah, we're seeing this now more and more often where, for some unknown reason, these PR teams or these PR companies or whatever, they're trying to dictate who can see what, who can say what questions can be asked, which I do understand, obviously, when you go to certain things, don't ask about this or this, talk about the film. I've been to a few press conferences, mostly MMA ones, where it's either before or after the fight for him. And you do get certain people that when they start asking a question, they start going off topic. But when you've been told, right, we're going to do this film's here, we're going to talk to the guy, talk to the director, star, producer, writer, whatever, and we're going to get some information. Maybe a couple of, quotes we can throw into the article. But when they've started doing it as well at other festivals, it's almost like the PR teams now are like, you just get your films out there, we'll take care of everything else. And they just shoehorn and brush everything away. Don't get me wrong, I'm not really a fan of legacy media, of journalists. Some of these people as well, they probably got horrible taste in films. And these are probably the people who will go on Rotten Tomatoes and be like, well, this film deserves 10% or whatever. Half a star, it's rotten. And that film could be, to anyone else, their favourite film ever. Again, obviously, people who love films differs from person to person. But when you see a lot of these type of people, they do seem a bit pretentious, which is what they are. But with this, I don't understand when you've got a film, and a lot of times when you see these film festivals, they're independent movies. They need that word of mouth. They need these people to see the film, to ask questions, to get articles out, good or bad, no matter what. Because, bad press is good press. That's how it is. And when they've just gone, no, you can only speak to this person for such and such a time, but you're all going to be grouped together. And it's basically like when you're in school and the teacher's going, right, any questions to everyone? And you're all sat on the floor and you go, oh, me. And then someone else gets picked. Someone else could ask a question that you wanted to ask. And I know that sounds really funny and childish, but these do happen. This is why a lot of journalists, perfect example at this moment in time, Chris Van Vliet, who is a podcaster and a journalist, and he mostly does wrestling stuff, and his podcasts are amazing. And recently he's been doing a few interviews here and there with The Rock, with Dave Bautista and all this, and they are phenomenal. And they're about 20 minutes long. To me, that's how it should be. That's exactly what they should be doing. But otherwise, it's just rubbish, When again, PR teams, we've seen what they've done at this moment in time. They're putting out that huge bloody coordinated attack, aren't they? But let me know what you think about this down below, folks. Do you think the press should be allowed to actually interview the person one-on-one or in a group of a couple instead of just going, all right, all of you go in there, you got 5 minutes. Let me know down below. Enjoy the rest of your evening, guys. Like and subscribe. If you are new, hit that ding-dong bell, and I'll see you soon.